If I had $5,000 right now and I wanted to turn it into cash flow, the last thing I'd be doing is starting some sort of strange side hustle, some sort of business, or YOLOing all that money into some degenerate meme or stock. In today's video, I'm going to show you a strategy that pays you a monthly check just for saying maybe you would buy or sell stocks. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Yo, what's going on, Premium Chasers? I hope you're having an absolutely God-blessed day. I've got a special giveaway to every single person down below in today's video. You're going to get my full small account starter kit plus my 10 favorite small account stocks to run this strategy that you're about to learn. Guys, today I'm very excited because I love talking about small accounts because everybody starts with a small account. The problem with people with small accounts, let's say $5,000, right, is that they usually start going into degenerate plays. Hey, it's only $5,000, right? Or it's only $100. And that's where they get you. I believe you build the foundation when you have that small account and the discipline, the patience, right? The foundation that you build when you have a small account is going to transition when you eventually have a large account. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you a strategy that I started doing about 5 to 7 years ago that really changed how I look at the stock market and stopped being an absolute degenerate. So let's go over the shoulder. The first thing we need when we are doing a set play like this is we need a stock within our budget. So if we only have $5,000, right, with this strategy, you would only be able to do this with stocks that are trading under $50 a share, okay? Now, again, if you comment below, I will personally give you some of my favorite cheaper stocks to do this strategy on. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about SoFi. You guys know I absolutely love SoFi. And I'm going to remove all of my indicators here so we can clean this entire thing up, and we're not even going to use candlesticks because we don't even need to. We don't even need to do candlesticks or anything like that. Let's just get our mountain here. And you could see this is the stock chart. I have it set to a 3-month. You can flip it to a 6-month chart. And you can obviously see that SoFi has been on a run up recently. Now, what this strategy is essentially doing is we are saying we are willing to buy 100 shares of a stock at a certain price and on a certain date. And we get to name all of those terms, okay? And you're going to see that here in a moment. For example, if I open up this options chain right here, let me open this up just a little bit bigger so we can all see it. All right. Now I know when you hear options, you hear risk. You're very fearful of it. And listen, I'm telling you, this strategy is unlike anything else you ever heard before, especially if you've had a bad time with buying options and stuff like that. This is, I believe, the most disciplined form of trading. I don't consider myself a full-time trader. The last thing I'd ever want to be, but I love being involved in the markets. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip from this calls and puts, and we're just going to say puts. Okay. And then I like to see pretty much all the strikes. So I'm just going to do my 25 strikes. Okay. Now, I typically like to be about 30 days out, okay? So I'm just going to go to January 2nd for this example, okay? Now, what you're seeing here is a very intimidating looking chart. I get it. Listen, if this is your first time looking at an options chain, you're like, dude, Pete, I'm clicking off this video, bro. Like, I can't do this. I got a full-time job. I got kids. I got work. Like, this is insane. Bear with me, all right? This isn't complicated, I promise you. So what I'm saying here, all I'm saying is I'm willing to buy 100 shares of SoFi on January 2nd. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right. Now, the second thing I'm about to tell you is I'm going to name my price. So at the time we're recording this video, you could see that SoFi is trading at $27.87. Obviously, that's continuing to change, right? It's having a bit of a red day today, down nearly 6% at the time we're recording this. Now here, right, I want to obviously pick a price lower than what it's currently trading for. Obviously, right? So, for example, if I say, you know what? If it's trading at, let's say, 25 on January 2nd, I'm okay buying 100 shares of a stock. So what I would collect on that trade is I would collect $72 of premium, right? This premium, and I would do a sell to open order on that, right? That premium would be given to me upfront from an options buyer, okay? That's where that's coming from. Now, you may be thinking, well, Pete, okay, well, what's the risks with this, right? Look, what can actually happen here in a situation? Well, there are two things. If I actually executed this trade right now, I have two real outcomes that can happen. Is number one, let's say at the close on second, SoFi is trading above $25, right? Well, it's above $25. You said you'd buy it at 25, so obviously you're not buying it at 25. Your money, your collateral that's locked up, your $2,500 for this trade is going to be returned back to you, and then you could run the play on a different opportunity. The second thing that can happen though with a trade like this is that SoFi is trading above $25. If it's trading above $25, right, that or below $25, sorry, that means you are buying the shares at 25. So let's say at close it's trading at 24. Well, you're buying your shares at 25. And that's okay, right? That's okay. So let's go toss this all into our calculator. So you guys know I like to stay organized with these. So all of these are completely for free in the Ark Options Strategy workshop. Click that first link in the description. My both of these premium calculators, as well as my full trade log to keep yourself organized. So we're collecting $72 of premium. Now you might be wondering, Pete, it said 0.72. It said 0.72. What do you mean 72, right? Well, again, it is that this is just the way they display the data. It's times 100. One contract is equal to 100 shares. So you got to times everything by 100. I don't make the rules, guys, here. I don't make the rules. But we do have to have cash collateral, right? So we're locking up $2,500 of ours for about a 30-day period, a little bit less, about 27 days until that expiration. Right now, within our $5,000 budgets, we can do two contracts, right? And we would collect $144 of premium. Obviously, not financial advice, results value. These are just the premiums I'm seeing at my screen in this educational example, right? So that would lock up $5,000 of mine for that, about 27 days. It would lock that up for 27 days, and the two outcomes of this trade, as I mentioned, is number one, right? If SoFi is trading above $25 at expiration, I do not have to buy my shares. My money is returned back to me, my $5,000, and I can run the play again and collect some more premium. Now, again, next month, I'm not starting at zero. I am starting at $5,144. Okay? And then I'm continuing to earn, making my money work hard for me, creating income, creating cash flow from the premiums that we're collecting from the silly little options buyers, right? But the second thing, the big risk of this strategy is if it's trading below $25, right? I'm going to be on the hook to buy shares. So to show you guys an example of this, I'm not going to pull up I have a couple different accounts. Guys, obviously doing a lot of educational content here. I play with a lot of different brokerages. Some of you follow along with my SoFi brokerage. I am actually today buying, most likely, who knows? SoFi's crazy, but I have a $28 put on SoFi that's expiring today at the time of recording this. SoFi is trading at $27.85. So most likely, I am going to have to buy 100 shares of SoFi at a cost basis of $28 today. Okay, that's going to happen. And guess what? If I'm assigned, that's okay. That is totally okay. So let's use that as an example. Let's just pretend you're me and you just had to buy 100 shares of SoFi for $28, but the market's trading at $27.90, right around 28. Well, what we then do for the following month, right? Let's say that $5,000 is taken from us. We got our shares, right? And you're like, oh, Pete, now what? Now I'm stuck holding the shares and I gotta wait for it to like recover to make money. No. That's not what we do. So what we now do is we flip from puts to calls, okay? We flip from puts to calls. Let me get a sip of coffee here, guys. Throat is a little dry. So, with that said, if now I'm saying, hey, I'm willing to sell my 100 shares of SoFi on a date and price that I choose. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go out to like February 2nd because I was going to skew all the numbers completely. So we're just going to pretend like today we're doing it to January 2nd here, okay? So now, obviously, we want to sell higher than we bought for, right? Like it's pretty listen, they say common sense is not so common, but I got to say it, right? So I got assigned at 28 today. So what I'm going to do on Monday morning when I have those shares now in my account is I'm going to say, you know what? For next month, I'm willing to sell my shares that I bought at 28 for, let's say, 30. I'm willing to sell the shares I bought today next month for $30. Now for that, I would collect $106. So you see that's 106, right? So let's go toss this into my other calculator here that I have, right? So coming over, this is my covered call calculator. It's called a covered call, okay? And this is you saying maybe you'll sell your shares. More on that in a minute, right? So we're saying 106. Right? The strike of the option is what I'm willing to sell my shares for next month. That's 30, right? My purchase strike price. So what is my average cost of the shares I just got assigned? That's $28, right? I got assigned at 28, right? So my premium return is at 3.79%. That's 106 divided by $2,800, my cost basis, right? My profit on the shares, if I end up having to sell them, will be $200 of profit. That's the difference between 28 and 30. For a total max profit, keyword, on this trade of $306 or about 11% return, not financial results, right? This is a fictitious educational example, okay? So what can happen with this side of the trade? Okay, well, let's pull this the chain back up here so you guys can really see. So the covered call, I like to look as like collecting rent on your shares, because essentially, if you own 100 shares, you could do this with pretty much any company out there, where you're essentially saying, hey, I'm willing to sell them on on a weekly basis or a monthly basis and collect a premium income, right? But there are risks. There's risks with every strategy. So here's the big risk, right? Let's say on the second that SoFi is trading below 30. Okay, that's a best case scenario. I don't have to sell my shares. And then the following month, I say I'm going to sell them for 30 again. I collect more premium and yada, yada, yada. But the big risk of this, number two, is that let's say on the second, SoFi is trading at 31, 32, 50, infinity, right? I'm on the hook to sell my shares at 30. So my risk here is completely defined on both sides, okay? But I'm going into stocks primarily with this strategy on stocks I believe in, companies that I love, okay? And again, you can get these calculators. I live in these calculators. And then my full trade log, because your brokerage ain't going to track this stuff correctly for you. All right. So, all right, Pete, that's cool and all, but like, how do I know when to do this? How do I know when to not do this? What are like the ideal entry points, exit points? Listen, there's a lot that goes into this. I always say, give it a year of time. But a quick way that you can do it is with something called a delta. A delta is a Greek right here, and you could see this on the option chain. All of your option chains will see that. And you could see my delta for my 30 call here is a 37. That means I have a 37% chance that I'm going to have to sell my shares on January 2nd. Now, if you're like really want to push it out, I can go down further, like to this 19 one. Let's just call it 20, the 33s, right? Now, obviously, I'm saying there's only a 20% chance that I'd be assigned here, right? But I'm only collecting $46 of premium here. And this is where you have to weigh your own financial risk, your own goals, all that stuff. Me personally, what I like to do is be between like a 0.20 and a 0.30. That's kind of where I usually want to be. Now, I like to do this strategy on dividend paying stocks as well. That way I'm like double dipping, right? I'm collecting dividends. I'm collecting premiums from renting out my shares on a monthly basis. But you got to define your own risk. I know a lot of people will play with the 0.10 delta stuff, right? If their cost base is like super low, that, yeah, you know what? Like I really don't want to sell my shares, but I still want to collect more premium. But if it hits that, sure, I'll sell them. There are strategies like that. You just have to think through your specific situation. Now, coming back to our chart here, okay? Now, I'm going to add a couple indicators here that I think are helpful for you to get started with. And that number one would be the Bollinger Band. So I'm going to tick this one on, and you could see that an overlay was added into my chart here, okay? Now, we're not candlestick readers. We are not the Picassos of the candlesticks. Those things are important to understand in your journey over time, but I think as somebody that isn't planning to do this full-time, as somebody that said you're just looking to generate cash flow from it, I don't think it's absolutely necessary for you to know how to read, like, charts and stuff like that. It's cool to kind of get into and as a hobby, but this is technical analysis, and technical analysis is not as important as fundamental analysis, okay? I don't care what anybody tells you. A lot of y'all love to trade on the technicals, but you're trading on a fundamentally unsound companies, okay? So I believe the fundamentals of the company are way more important than the short-term technicals, okay? But with that said, the technicals do show us ideal times to get into stocks, right? So with the Bollinger Bands, rule of thumb, this basically tells you roughly where a stock is likely to trade in, okay? And you could see, right? Whoa, voice crack, let's go. It hits the top of the Bollinger Band, or sometimes goes over it and retracts back. Sometimes goes over, retracts back. Sometimes has a massive drop, right? But usually starts to recover. And we saw that here recently, especially over the past couple weeks with SoFi. And we can see SoFi actually dropped down below here today as well. All right. So what are the ideal times? Well, the rule of thumb for the best premium that you'd collect for your cash secured puts, saying you're willing to buy 100 shares of a stock, is when we're towards the bottom of the Bollinger Band. Why? Because that people are selling off. They're getting out of the stock, whatever happened, bad earnings, bad news, something. All right, something happened and people are just getting out of it, okay? And that's usually the best time to sell your cash secured puts because there's blood in the streets, people are scared, and that's when you usually can dollar cost average into these stocks and collect a lot more premium. Now, when you're selling your shares, right, we usually want to be towards the top of the Bollinger Band. And the reason for that, right, is everybody's all excited about it. Everyone's pumped up, great earnings, some acquisition, whatever, and the stock is soaring up, right? And that's usually the best time to sell your covered call. And there's also something kind of like behind the scenes that's happening, right? If you're looking at this chart, usually we see a retraction, okay? So what does that mean? Well, we bounce off here. Let's say right here, if we did a cash secured put, it was trading at 24.91. Let's say you did a 23 put expiring the following month. Well, guess what, right? It's very likely that it's going to bounce off that bottom Bollinger Band, which it did, and you'll be able to close out your position in a matter of days instead of waiting the full month to get your full collateral. Now, that is how most options, they happen. Most of the time, we are closing our positions early or the contracts are expiring worthless. The SIBO did a study. It's about like 80% of options contracts expire worthless or end up being closed early, meaning we're not letting them go all the way to expiration. We're closing them out sooner. That way we get our collateral back, like our cash, or our shares back to run the play faster, okay? But there's nothing wrong with letting everything go to expiration. I have a lot of family members that do that as well, and friends that are like, hey, I just let everything go to expiration. They check their phone like once a month, and that's truly very, very passive. Nothing wrong with that strategy as well. But if you want to learn more about that, I obviously don't have enough time here in this short YouTube video, but watch the Ark Options Strategy workshop down below. That's about a 90-minute training that dives way more into this strategy, okay? And at the end of it, I give you these premium calculators and my full trade log so you can even see visually how often you are being assigned, how often you are closing out early, and all of that good stuff. All of that is coming for you at the end of the Ark workshop that you can click that first link down below and attend. Remember, guys, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.